was wondering if you forgot to say at the end of your comments, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
No,
You didn't feel like you were doing a summation or anything like that?
no, I didn't feel the need to do that because I'm talking to Democrats today, not jurors.
But wouldn't you agree that regardless of what people think about your profession and your particular work in the profession, that at least for the last maybe 10 years, you've been the ultimate insider? I mean, you've probably spent more time consulting with people who are not in the grassroots than with people like the ones that are here today.
Really? How do you know that, sir?
Well, I've been active in the party for at least 5 years, and I've never even heard of you until about a year ago. And that was basically.
Dan and I were in Young Democrats.
Wait, I would like to have him answer.
When we were Young Democrats.
So when we were younger.
When we were Young Democrats.
But actually, that's just the prelude to the heart of my question to you, which is that I think it's good that there's competition for the position and so forth, and it's great that you have enthusiasm, and I'm glad that you're doing that. But it seems that your sense of what a state chair is about is sort of a cheerleader. Somebody to fundraise, to give press releases, and that sort of thing, which of course is important. But I think that perhaps you're not aware, or you're not you're putting aside the fact that this has become a very grassroots party, especially since the 2004 election. And that means that what the party needs is not just a cheerleader or a fundraiser, but somebody who's going to give direction and guidance and a real plan. Not just a lot of happy talk and fine words, but somebody who's actually going to be in the trenches, and not just at election time. See, I don't think the elections are the only important thing about the party. It's also about creating a vision. It's about values and that sort of thing. And so I'm just wondering what your plan is on a more concrete level, because I don't think that the reason the Democrats had such a tough time in 2010 was because the current state chair was defective. In fact, I think the state party was put aside. There was no coordinated campaign. There were outside organizations like Organizing for America who did fine within their own bailiwick, but I don't think it was a question of people, and in a way it's sort of an insult to the people that were on the ground, the people that were canvassing and so forth, because they worked hard.
How have I insulted?
Well, not in the sense of a personal insult, but in the sense of suggesting that because the current state chair somehow didn't do his job, that somehow there weren't enough people out there doing the work. I think you have to remember that, when I personally was out there canvassing, one of the reasons that people told me that they were not going to vote Democratic, even though they were registered as Democrat, was because of the lousy job that they thought Governor Richardson had done, and especially the corruption around Governor Richardson. And I don't think it's disingenuous for you to suggest that the reason that people are concerned about your work as an attorney is simply because you're an attorney. It's about the people that you defend, because it reflects on the position that you're going for right now.
Wow, so therefore, being a lawyer and based on who you defend all of a sudden doesn't allow you to be a chair of the state party? I don't want to be.
See, I just wonder if you feel, that sometimes, no, I just want to add one comment, is that I think that, while this recent letter that was sent out, was cowardly in the sense that it was anonymous, I think it asked some serious questions, which is, what are you going to do when the Republicans suggest that you're a consigliere or a mouthpiece for Governor Richardson?
Well, I'm not. That's number one. I'm not, okay?
Then how come everybody that you defend is a prominent member from the...
everybody I defend. Really, sir? I mean, do you know anything I do every day? Can you really say that? Are you just standing there?
And I'm wondering if your ownership of the New Mexico Thunderbirds could be considered a conflict of interest, because you're a business owner that can benefit by, legislation that's promoting sports and it seems like that sports.
You're right. You know what? I have a conflict because I own a sports team in New Mexico. I shouldn't be state chair of the party. How? Really? That doesn't make any sense, sir. Let's be reasonable here on our discussion. Let me address your specific issue, which I think is that apparently you said I'm a consigliere for Governor Richardson. I've never been Governor Richardson's lawyer, okay? But whether or not I'm the lawyer for someone who's accused of horrific crimes with children, or I'm a lawyer who is defending somebody who is accused of white-collar corruption, a Republican, Democrat, or anybody else. I'm doing my job. Are you saying that I'm somehow guilty of something as well?
I'm saying that the people that you have defended, everybody has a right to a defense, but that it reflects on the position that you're running for to have defended
okay.
all the people that are related to the administration.
All right, what ballot am I going to be on? The State Central Committee on April 30th?
Yes.
So are the Republicans going to attack me a week after that election and say, the Democrats elected someone who's represented someone who was accused of wrongdoing in government. Now, how long does that story last? Because if it lasts for the rest of the campaign, I'm doing a pretty lousy job.
So
But it's going to last a week.
You're
If
saying that
for
we should wait
Republicans
that
to
extra
win.
week and then everything's going to be fine.
Well, what race am I running? What ballot am I on that they're going to keep doing this? They're going to attack me instead of our candidates? Is that what they're going to do?
As I said earlier, my
Right. Let them attack me. That's fine. I'm more than willing to accept the attack.
As I said earlier, my main concern was not so much the thing about, who you defend and everything, although, it's being discussed right now. My main point is that whoever you've been working with in the last few years, you are out of touch with the grassroots of the party. And I don't think that you have the capacity to, look, I don't want to hear any of this kind of patronizing